My guest at this time will take on Bron Breakker for the WWE NXT Championship this Saturday night at In Your House in a match where if Bron Breakker gets DQ'd, he also loses the NXT Championship. It is Joe Gacy. Joe, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Hey, I'm excited, dude. You're killing it right now, by the way.
Thank you.
And not like you're not killing it anyway. I don't want to go in that rabbit hole. Joe, I want to start at the beginning here. You were part of NXT 2.0, the complete relaunch. And, from the moment you debuted, a lot of attention. And at first, you made a lot of headlines, a lot of controversy around you. So, what was I just want to kind of know, what was your reaction to what everybody, what was your reaction to the reaction of Joe Gacy, I guess?
It was new to me. I've never had a reaction like that, but I loved it. It was something new and different, I guess you could say. I don't believe in the last couple of years anyone's made headlines like that. So I think it was pretty cool, to be honest.
So with this character, really unique character and presentation, was this something you came to WWE with, or was this something they said, hey, we've been looking for somebody to play this crazy person here?
I think it's been a little bit of a mix of a few things. I would say I've kind of always had this in my head even before coming here, but I think being able to actually do it on, a TV show or weekly, being able to show a little bit more at a time is the best way to do it. Obviously, there's tweaks here and there, but this is my first opportunity to be able to do something like this. So, yeah.
So there's been reports that Vince McMahon is a lot more hands-on with NXT 2.0 than in the initial iteration of NXT. Have you had a chance to work with Vince on Joe Gacy? Has there been any of those talks with him about this character?
Honestly, not to my knowledge. I've personally never had any meetings or conversations, but who knows? I don't know what goes on so much everywhere, but potentially, I guess. But me personally, I've never had the opportunity.
All right. Well, let's talk about the evolution of this character. You got these druids now, very dark, kind of supernatural overtones. A lot of people out there starting to see comparisons to The Undertaker, maybe shades of kind of what Bray Wyatt was doing. How do you feel when you get comparisons made like that?
Everyone, that has a character like that gets compared to someone else. So walking into it, I guess it was kind of expected. But I know that this has been very different than a lot of things that have been done. So if you pay attention and kind of see how things are, you'll be able to tell what's different and not different. But everyone gets compared to somebody.
Yeah, for sure. And now you're a man walking alone. Harland no longer by your side. How was that? Losing your right hand man there.
I wish nothing but the best, but I think I'm going forward now. I look toward the future, and now that I have my guys with me currently, I think things are going to be pretty big for the next couple months.
Rock and roll. Well, it's pretty big right now. You're in the main event. You're fighting for the title. It's Bron Breakker. Man, you guys have had a really epic feud. There's been a lot of twists and turns along the way. What's it been like for you to work with Bron and be able to tell this kind of long-term story,
I love it. And kind of going back to what I said, that, it's something you could do weekly. I've never had the opportunity to do something like that. So to be able to not only do anything with Bron, to be able to work with a WWE Hall of Famer and Rick Steiner, his father, to be able to do anything with that family is amazing, considering, I've watched Rick and Scott Steiner as a child on TV growing up. So it's inexplainable, I guess, but it's been great for me learning as much as I have from the wealth of knowledge in that family.
Yeah, for sure. How was that kidnapping Rick? When you get told what you're going to do that day, that's a pretty unique bit of business. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
All right. So with this match, you two, like I said, this has been a very epic long-term build and feud here. A lot of people also see similarity, kind of like I get Batman Joker vibes off. Are you influenced by comic books? Is that playing into anything that you guys are doing right now?
I mean, not directly, but I'm not gonna say that it's not similar, I guess. I've always been more of a Marvel guy anyway. So I can't say directly anything's exactly influenced it, but I don't know. It's always kind of just been in my head, and maybe it's a collection of things I've seen over the years. But I can't really say anything directly as an influence or anything.
Okay, fair enough. Well, a unique stipulation here. Bron gets DQ'd. You win the title. Now, it's everybody's dream to win a major championship like this. But how would you feel if you win this championship on like a DQ or something like that?
I mean, that's why the match was made, so I could potentially do that. So becoming NXT champion will be a big deal. And I think it's going to be a big deal when it happens.
Okay. All right. So fair enough. So like when you become NXT champion, what kind of a champion do you see yourself as, Joe? Are you going to be a fighting champion? Are you going to make people step up? Like what kind of a champion do you see Joe Gacy as?
Joe Gacy would be the type of champion that would, I hope, influence the locker room and lead NXT. That is the goal.
Yeah. Do you feel like a leader at NXT? I mean, you came in with a little bit more, independent wrestling background than some of the other people that have been signed recently. Do you feel more like a leader in NXT right now?
So oddly, maybe I should be. When I first got here, the locker room was very different. You had like guys like Tommaso here, who, in my opinion, would have been the leader of NXT. Now that he's where he is, I look around at the locker room and I see like, wow, there's these guys who are the faces of NXT 2.0, and I guess in a way we all are kind of the leaders, as well as the females too. So I think it's an adjustment, but I think we're slowly finally getting to that point where we're hitting a stride, and I think we are the faces that are being looked up to from a lot of the younger talent coming in.
Yeah, for sure. And next week NXT is going to hit the road. First of all, how excited are you to get NXT in front of live fans again? Talk to me about that.
I'm so excited. This is going to be my first time traveling for the company. I came in during the pandemic, so things were very different when I first got here, minus going to Dallas for Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania. That was a very surreal experience. And that was my only time I got to travel for the company. So this is, being able to finally hit the road again and go out to all these different towns and cities in Florida for now, hopefully more later. But to be able to do that and finally get to see the different NXT crowds that are out there, I think is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and you talk about how the brand is finding a stride right now. I mean, how much do you think it's going to help a lot of these talents that have, like they said, they got signed during the pandemic, some of them with no wrestling background? Like, how much do you think that's going to help, elevate the wrestlers and the show that's being put out?
I think it's going to help immensely. To be able to see different crowds, meet different crowds, hopefully potentially gain, more fans. If anyone hasn't come to the new NXT here, because we've been based in Orlando, hopefully with more traveling, we'll be able to get more people to come back out and come see more shows. Hopefully the fear of the pandemic is dwindling a little bit, so more people come out. But I think besides that, getting these newer people that might not have as much experience in the ring as much as possible, and wrestling guys that are, the faces of NXT, I guess they could learn a lot from them.
Well, kind of looking ahead here, Joe, obviously NXT is great. A lot of wonderful names and faces, but there's a big WWE universe out there. Looking down the road, I know you mentioned Tommaso Ciampa as somebody that you really enjoyed working with at the Performance Center, but Are there dream matches for you, Joe? Like who do you most want to see Joe Gacy take on the main WWE roster?
Well, I mean, everyone could say that they want a shot at Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah.
That's an easy answer, but I have a lot of people that I would love to get in the ring and mix it up with. Obviously, he would be a top one, but for my own personal feelings, I guess I would have to pick somebody like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Matt Riddle. I mean, any of these guys. I've never actually had an opportunity in the past, so for me, it would be pretty big to be able to do that.
I think you might give Sami Zayn an actual heart attack. I don't know that he could handle Joe Gacy. He doesn't seem like he's in a good place mentally these days, you know?
Yeah, you never know with him.
Yeah, anyway. Joe, I really want to thank you for the time here. It was a great talk. Is there anything you want to put over here before we wrap up the conversation today?
Well, as we talked about this Saturday on Peacock, 8 p.m., NXT in your house with a very, 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 very big show. A lot of good matches. Me versus Bron Breakker, NXT Championship. If he gets disqualified, I win the NXT Championship.